today's YouTube video, we're going over the top 5 meta loadouts you guys should be using here in Season 5. These are straight up some of my absolute go-tos that I fry and drop 30 bombs with in Warzone. The first gun we're taking a look at here today is going to be the Tempest Razorback, and our first attachment on this gun is going to be the Harbinger D20 suppressor. So sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness. This is a fantastic silencer to be able to run on this gun, and it makes this thing so much more effective at that longer range, which is what we want. And this thing is very low to super minimal recoil. The tune on this here is gonna be a plus 1.08 and a minus 0.35 there on the bottom. Now we're going up here and we're gonna run the 16 Tanker V barrel for that increase in recoil control and bullet velocity. You really can't go wrong with this one. This is what makes this thing an absolute laser beam, is this barrel helps out significantly. So I'd highly recommend you guys try this out. The tune on that is going to be a plus 0.13 and a plus 0.12 there on the bottom. Then we're going to go down here and we're going to run, this is going to be kind of an interesting one, the DM Proto Grip. So this is the very last one here in this category. Like, you got to go all the way over, and this is specific to the Tempest Razorback, but the DM Proto Grip here is going to be awesome for this thing. Aiming idle stability, horizontal recoil control, and recoil stabilization, which are things that are really going to help us out. We like to tune a lot of our longer range guns for recoil control, not as much mobility, and this is really going to help us out there. The tune on that's going to be a plus 0.31 and a plus 0.25. Now we're actually going to go down here. We're going to run the 60 round mag. So the 60 round mag is something that you guys need to be running here in Warzone. There's no reason for you to ever run the 45. I mean, maybe if you're trying to somehow make this a sniper support gun and you don't want to run a 60 round mag, even at that point, I'd still recommend to run the 60. It is just so much better to have 60 rounds in a magazine. So just go for that. And lastly, we're going to go up in here, run the Aim Op V4. Though if you guys want to switch it out for something else a little bit different, you guys could go over here and run something like the SC Recharge, which I've had a lot of fun using as well here recently on a variety of my different builds. So the SC Recharge or the Aim Op, and you can largely basically tune these things the absolute same. So the tune on this can be minus 0.58. And all they max out there on the bottom for that far distance. That's my full build there for the Tempest Razorback. An absolutely insane assault rifle here with 0 recoil in Season 5. Next up is going to be the Lockman Sub. Basically my favorite secondary to run, especially if you're going for high kill gameplays. I always run this exact build right here, so you guys need to be paying attention to this one. So first thing is the L38 Falcon barrel. That increase in movement speed and aim down sight speed. I had to switch out from my controller to my mouse, starting to get a little bit of that stick drift in the tunings. It was messing that stuff up, so we're going to be tuning here and doing all this with my mouse for the rest of the time. But that is going to be that. The tune on this here is going to be minus 0.24 and a plus 0.25. They're giving us a little bit more damage range and aim walking speed. After that, we're going to go up in here and run the 1MW quickfire laser for that increase in aim down sight speed. Some people have been asking me, why do you not run the VLK Laser 7MW? This does visibly give you away quite a bit, and you really don't need some of this stuff in here. You pretty much only need the aim down sight speed benefit, and this got nerfed here a little while back. I can't remember exactly what it was, but we've all been running the 1MW quickfire laser here for a while now, and this has just been fantastic, so I've stuck with it. The tune on that here is going to be a minus 0.16 and a minus 21.39 there on the bottom. Now we're going to go down here and run the 9mm hollow point. So what this is going to do is disable sprinting for a short period of time on someone, which when you get hit by it is incredibly annoying, but it is super effective. So that's kind of why you want to run it. I mean, it's really frustrating when you can't sprint. You're like, why is my joystick not working? Well, that's probably why you probably got hit by some hollow point rounds. So definitely give those a shot. And the tune on that here is to be a plus 0.59 on the bottom, or up my bad, a plus 0.59 up top, and a plus 3.19 there on the bottom. Now we're gonna go down here, run the 40 round mag. You could definitely have this switched out for the 50 round mag. This is an interchangeable attachment. It's not like you have to run one or the other. Keep in mind, you will be a little bit slower running the 50, and I feel like the 40 has done me pretty good here so far. So I kind of like just running the 40 instead of the 50 for a little bit more mobility. And then for our last attachment, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up in here on the Mirror Recoil-56 factory stock. So aiming stability, recoil control, and sprint speed, which is like awesome. So we really like this thing, and this is an attachment I was a little bit sketchy on. I wasn't really sure about. Then I put it on, I've been trying it out, and I was like, wait, this is it right here. So this attachment with this build works amazingly. So I've been having a lot of fun with it. The tune on that is a minus 1.42 and a minus 1.63 there on the bottom. And that is right there is my full Lockman sub build that you guys need to use. Next up, we're taking a look at the M13B, not the M13C, because the M13C is definitely not anywhere as good as the M13B for longer range. That's much more like a sniper sport gun we don't really have as much info on yet. but in comparison, the M13B is definitely better than that other gun. So we're gonna run this here, and this also is just a very good meta low recoil AR. So first attachment though, that Harbinger D20, you guys kind of know what it does, and really gotta explain this one too much since we've ran it on a couple other guns. The tune on that here is gonna be a plus 0.86 and a plus 0.55, so definitely give that a try. Now we're gonna go up in here and run the 14 Bruin Echelon barrel. So that increase in damage range, bullet velocity, recoil control, and hipfire accuracy. Incredible things here to make this thing more effective at those longer ranges, which is what we really want. And weirdly enough, the M13C, you actually lose recoil control when you throw this exact barrel on it, which I don't really get. But hey, it is what it is. I don't know what they're doing. The tune on this here is going to be a plus 0.40 and a plus 0.34 on the bottom. Now we're going to go down here, run the FTAC Gripper 56. You guys know that we've ran this so many times before, but aiming idle stability, hipfire accuracy, and recoil stabilization. This is kind of like your try and true, kind of like your Commando foregrip of this game, where everyone just kind of likes to run it because it works so well, except we don't run the Commando foregrip here, we just run the FTAC. That just kind of took its place. The tune on that here is going to be a plus 0.67 and a minus 0.22. Then we're going to go down here and run the 60 round mag. Like I said, I'm a 60 round mag kind of guy, and I always just run that 60. But with this gun in particular, that fire rate is very high. You're going to be blown through those rounds very fast. So highly recommend you guys go for the 60 and not like the 45. I don't really ever go for the lower magazine on my assault rifles anymore. I just don't ever do that. I just go for the bigger one. And lastly, up in here, we're going to go for that SZ Recharge. So this is one of those guns that I've been having a lot of fun using the SZ Recharge on. And like I said, it's much like the AMOP V4. It just actually zooms in, I think, a little bit more, and you get a tad bit more accuracy out of it. So it's, I think you are slightly slower, but a little bit more accuracy. So it's kind of up to you guys there. The tune on this here is going to be a minus 2.23 and all the way on that close distance. I've been kind of messing around with this between far and close, and I feel like close has actually worked out better on some specific applications, so I've just been kind of messing with that. This is not something you need to follow my exact recommendation on. If you like far, you can go far. If you like close, you can go close. It's up to you. But this is my full build here for the M13B, a solid assault rifle here in Season 5. Next gun we're taking a look at here today is going to be the Vel 46. I know this kind of looks a little bit weird right here, but the Vel 46 is one of my other favorite SMGs to run here this season. It is incredible, but our first attachment is a 1MW quickfire laser. And like I said, we run this on the Lockman sub, aka the MP5, and we're going to be running it here once again on the Vel 46, aka the MP7. So the tune on that here is going to be minus 0.24 and a minus 34.55. We're going to be tuning this here a lot for mobility. Now we're going to go down here. What we're going to do is we're going to run the 4.6 millimeter frangible rounds, which temporarily delays their healing, which can be really good. So between hollow point, frangible, I mean, even over pressured rounds, I mean, are going to be pretty solid as well. But the hollow point and frangible, probably switch back and forth between the two of them. They're going to be great effects either way. The tune on this here is to be a plus 0.50 and a minus 5.52 there on the bottom. We're going to go down here and run the 50 round mag. So I know there is the option for the 60 on this gun, but the 60 is a little bit too much. So it comes with a stock 40, obviously. So we have the option to go down to 30, which is what you'll find in like ground loot, stuff like that, which give you a really wicked increase to your mobility. But I do believe if you're playing trios and quads and stuff like that, the 50 round mag is going to be kind of your happy medium. You're going to get that increase in magazine size. You're also not going to be weighed down too much like you would with that 60. So I'd recommend for you guys to go for the 50. That's just what I've been running with, and it's felt fantastic. Now after that, we're going to go back in here, run the ZLR combat grip for a little bit of recoil control. As you guys saw, we didn't have a muzzle, we didn't have a barrel, anything else like that, or even an under barrel. So we're definitely going to try to control this gun here a little bit, and this is going to help us out with that. The tune on this is a minus 0.32 and a minus 0.17. And then now we're going to go back in here for our last attachment, aka the Demo RTX stock. So crouch movement speed, sprint speed, and aim down sight speed. I mean, seriously, this is a great attachment here, and when you combine all this together, you get a wicked mobility, but also very easy to control SMG that's got 50 rounds in the magazine, and you're just going to be dominating with it. So minus 1.42 and a minus 1.70. For real, this is, I've dropped so many 30 bombs with this and all these other setups. This is one of my favorites to run. Try this out. Lastly, I want to show you guys a gun that I don't think a lot of people are using, but don't realize it's really good, and that is the Rap H LMG. So this and the RPK kind of are making their way up into that meta slot, but people don't be using them a lot, so I want to show you guys a good build for it. So the TY-LR8, so that horizontal recoil control, we're going to stabilize this gun out here a little bit with that. You're not going to be beaming people at like super ridiculous long distances, but I mean, you're going to have a great magazine size of 75 rounds, and you're going to be able to take people out at those, you know, assault rifle ranges that you normally use that for. So The tune on this is going to be all the way maxed out for recoil stabilization and a plus 0.27 here on the bottom. Now we're going to go up in here. We're going to run the FSS OLE laser because, as you know, this is an LMG, so it's going to be slow. So we have to be able to kind of bolster up a little bit of that, and this also helps us with our aiming stability, which is really good. Apart from giving us some other good benefits here, this tends to work out better. Like this specific attachment tends to work out better on like LMGs and stuff nowadays than it does SMGs, which is kind of funny how that works. The tune on this here is going to be all the way just kind of left to 0, because one way or the other, you're really not going to be getting anything good. You kind of end up screwing yourself no matter which way you do it. And so the bottom's a 14.81. I normally never leave it to a 0, but you just can't get anything good out of it. So it kind of sucks. The next attachment is going to be the Slimline Pro, but you can realistically run any of these or other red dots in here. Kind of depends on what you want to be able to go for, but the Slimline Pro is what our optic of choice is. So you guys can definitely go for that. The tune on this here is going to be a minus 0.77 and all the way maxed out there on the bottom for that far distance. Since it is a red dot, I don't feel like I need it to be super close to me. Maybe something like the SE Recharge, bring that closer. Aim out V4, you can kind of go either way, but for a red dot, you can push that out for that far distance. Next, we're going to go in here and we're going to run the FT mobile stock. So sprint speed, aim walking speed, crouch movement speed, and aim down sight speed. Really can't complain about that. Kind of speeding up the mobility of this thing, making it actually more effective. For those general, engagements where you're not going to be like, picking someone off a super long range, you need to actually be able to move the gun, and LMGs, like I said, are notoriously slow. The tune on that is going to be a minus 1.29 and a minus 0.93. And for our very last attachment, we're going to go in here for the Lockman TCG10 for that increase in recoil control. So we got to be able to, like I said, increase the recoil control a little bit because we're going to have, an underbarrel on this thing. So this is what's going to help us out with that. And the tune on this is to be a plus 0.61 and a plus 0.17. So that is my full build there for the RAP HLMG. Thank you for making it this far in the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. And of course, check out this other video on screen that I think you'd really enjoy. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.